Hi, okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Your audio
Hi, good
permission,
afternoon.
please. Thumbs
Afternoon.
up it's going to enable me to post this on all the social media. So please show me a thumbs up for your audio visual permissions. And for everybody who chooses not to show their faces, I take their thumbs up as a yes. Today's session is going to be led by Chandrei, who is already a PYPC with Amity Global, and is going to be chapter 4 for us. And the next session will be taken by Miss Preeti, who's a PYPC. That's going to be chapter 5. So let's rock our learning. Yeah, hand it over to you, Chandrai.
Thank you, Pallavi. I'm going to be using the support of a PowerPoint presentation, and I hope you can see my screen, all of you.
Yes.
So, okay, one second.
Afternoon all.
We are all doing something. I think I'm also taking and making an assumption that we are all PYP teachers. And when you are a PYP teacher, and I think when you talk of the pedagogy of learning with young children, inquiry surely takes, a fantastic position there. And when you talk about inquiry, are we talking about, that's a thought, that are we talking about ourselves being inquirers? Are we talking about students being inquirers, or are we talking about all of us in the community being inquirers to promote the learning and helping children understand and explore new things, generate their curiosities in different ways? And somewhere in the book, Kath Murdoch says that as learning grows, the little ones always have the best way of asking questions and getting answers naturally to their curiosities. And as they grow through middle school, the questions reduce, and their curiosities are there definitely, but somewhere there are other factors which kind of take over, and they are not doing what is natural in our being. So this image I chose because it's again something which Kath Murdoch is saying in this book, that if you want children to be curious, you need to provide that environment for it. Do you think a plant could have come out of this place if there was not enough place for it to grow out of it? If there was no water, if there was no sunlight? So the environment really has to be created. So in this chapter, it is about how can we grow curiosity and culture of questioning within our inquiry-based community that's mostly connected with our students. So this is who I am. I'm Chandrei Chaudhary. I'm IB PYP coordinator at Amity Global School Gurgaon. I'm part of the IB Educator Network for almost, I think, maybe 8-9 years in the Asia Pacific region. And this is a photograph with Kath Murdoch of myself. This was taken in 2015. So I had attended her workshop then. And the book that we are reading, Power of Inquiry, why I posted it here is because when I've been following Kath Murdoch for years, and she's kind of a guru, so to say, for inquiry. And when this book came out, then it was not available in India. So a very dear friend of mine, and I'm ever grateful to her for that. She got the book for me from Australia and gifted it to me actually. So this is the story behind the book for me and Kath Murdoch in itself. So today, I think Pallavi's already posted this link to you all. It's the Padlet link for how you are going to be reading this book. I wonder, I discovered, and I'm still wondering. And the link is in WhatsApp. So it's going to be an ongoing reflection for this chapter, as well as at the end of the chapter, if you feel you're going to refer to it as you move ahead for the next chapter for next Saturday. So do use this link to post your wonderings. So what do you see in this image? There's a cat, and is the cat looking curious? It is. So are we all curious to know what we're going to be doing and how are we going to be inquiring into this chapter really? So the quote from the book again from this chapter is, in an inquiry classroom, curiosity is the grease that helps turn the wheel of learning. So that is what you need to make sure, that there is enough curiosity in the class. And that's what I'm modeling through reading the chapter is, if I can get you to be curious, I can get you to create a culture of questioning. What kind of questions will you ask using the book as a base? So we are all lifelong learners. We all have our own, ways, own perspectives, the context that we are, using, the culture we have, whether it's our personal culture or the environment we work in. So all of these also have a role. There is no just one way of doing things. There are many ideas. So even as all of us are gathered here together this afternoon, all of us have our own perspectives to doing things, and that's how we are truly driven, even by what IB mission says, that everybody, has their own ways of doing things. We need to respect people for who they are, respect their ideas and thoughts. And with that understanding, we'll move ahead. So what do you see in this picture? I'll just take 30 seconds of silent time to look into this picture and think about it. What do you think this picture is about? What does it make you think of, and what comes to your mind? That's what you need to think about. Okay. That's about 30 seconds. So would someone like to share in the chat box, what does it make you think of and what comes to your mind? From the image, let me go back to the image, sorry, yeah. So it's also connecting actually to your last chapter. It's what are those big ideas? What is the big idea that comes to your mind? It's not about just generally, what could be the big idea? What is the conceptual understanding, that could be provoked through this picture? That's what you need to post. Yes.
Old culture.
Okay. Maybe culture, yes.
How the transport looked olden times.
Okay.
The culture system, how the system was in the olden times.
Yes,
The
thank you,
city
Ria.
life. It makes me think how busy the people are and how it is in a city.
Yes, how communities could look like. Yes.
Yeah.
Even I have shared the same thing, the lifestyle.
Okay. I can't see chat.
I think the infrastructure, how it was before and how it
Yes.
has changed now. The infrastructure, the buildings,
Yes.
before how it was looking and how it has changed now. So then, before and after, we can just say like that.
Yeah,
Agree too. Same.
so
I was
let's
also thinking of
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah,
Yes,
let's follow the central agreements.
Yeah, yeah, the lifestyle of people,
Okay.
maybe now and
Lifestyles.
then.
the old and new city, it seems like the building behind and this side, left and right, if you can see.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
are more newly
Infrastructure.
painted and that is old one.
Yes.
What I can see.
Yes.
Meena Joshi raised
Right.
hand.
Hi, yeah, Amisha. So what I look at it is, I feel, Ms. Chandrei, it's about the socio-economic strata which I'm looking here, the people who are living there, and how are they similar and different from all over the world, or maybe in my culture, if I see in my community what I see. So this is what I see.
Okay.
It's
Okay, it could
transition.
be community, conceptual understanding of maybe what a community could be. Someone said culture, someone talks about transition, someone talks about infrastructure. So I'm just looking at the concepts, also reflecting what you did in the last chapter, right? So yes, lots of interesting things. And what you all are thinking about could be related to a question that you asked now, which is coming to your mind. You're curious to know more. And that becomes a driving question, really. And you could end up asking so many more questions, right? So I've used this picture prompt to provoke your thinking and also connect with what the book is saying, what a provocation can be. So in a environment like this, in the virtual, picture prompts do play a good role. And you could also have different objects or artifacts to provoke thinking in a certain way. So this is the idea behind this chapter. And okay, Why am I not being able? Okay. So that's what we just talked about, and you shared in your chat box. Thank you so much. Now, thinking about your, I think there is some challenge. Just hold on. I've moved ahead too many times. Okay, here we are. So I want you all to think about what are provocations, and think about that again. Since we have a limitation of time and we're trying to cover this whole thing, what you need to do is tell us a 3-word story. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence, but your 3 words should tell us a story of what are provocations. What are provocations in 3 words? You could refer to the book. It would be interesting if you could refer to the book as well.
Inquiry.
You can write it
Agency.
in the chat box.
Okay,
So that
okay,
we
sorry,
can all
I
see.
can't.
Yeah. Act like triggers. Leading to curiosity. Wonderful. That's from Fiza. Geenal said act like triggers. Confusion, excitement from Purti. Leading questions. Yeah, so Purti's added one more word, and Babita says
Tension.
think, reflect, and share. Okay, confusion, excitement, and tension from Purti. Mhm. Incitement, sets mind thinking, question, analyzing from Nisha. Yes, interesting. Thoughtful process, sets questions. Yes, thank you. We'll move on. Okay. So this is another book which also talks about, it's a book dedicated to what are questions really, because when you talk about questions, inquiry or provocation is not through just asking questions. So there are lots of other things that are there, but I've, shared this book with you. It's a book by J. McTighe and Grant Wiggins, and it has very interesting ways of how questions play an important role, or what could be a protocol of the questioning techniques you use in your class, which can lead to student understanding. And also, what are good questions really? Are the questions that children ask, are the questions we ask? Are they open-ended? Are they closed questions? And that's the reference which even Kath Murdoch has made in this chapter. So before we go on to doing an activity, the reason we are looking at questions is that, what would be those defining characteristics of questions? And that's the exercise we are going to be using today. So this is from the book. They should be open-ended, thought-provoking, and intellectually engaging. This is from the book of McTighe, okay? Calls for higher order thinking, points towards important and transferable ideas. So when you're talking about questions, they should raise additional questions, just like what we did just now. There were these big questions that came to your mind, and there were so many more from that picture provocation that we just used. And how can, it raise support and justification? And lastly, that what the question is, it should be revisited again and again, and those questions can recur over time. So if you run through all of these, it actually is talking about critical thinking, higher order thinking, and how a good question can encourage that. So, this is what we need to focus on, that the questions that the children are asking should be, moving towards questions which encourage inquiry, encourage ways of doing things, evaluating, synthesizing, creating, and all of that. And basically what I'm trying to say here is the art of asking questions is also very important. And that's the structure that you need to build, as by just you, all of us, as inquiry teachers. Are we helping children build a structure, build a system where they are asking good questions? Do we spend time to value their questions? So valuing and working with children questions leads them to, develop skills. So what questions, this is from the book, what questions do you think, will be easiest for us to answer? Are those questions Googleable or not? So how do you, these are some prompts that you can ask children. Is this question Googleable? If it is Googleable, then it's not a very, you get your answer easily. It should be a question which leads to further questions. So something like, grouping questions together. In your units of inquiry, the inquiry is led by the key concepts. So, when they bring out those questions led from a provocation, get them to group those questions in relation to the key concepts. Are these form questions? Are these change questions? Are these responsibility questions? Or for that matter, if you have related concepts in your unit of inquiry, look at those grouping of those questions. Is it answering a question where we are talking about well-being? Is it answering, your question leading to maybe there is a related concept of pattern? Is it leading to a related concept of maybe communication or expression? What could be that related? So help them to group those, and that's how you will, the children will develop conceptual understanding. So this again is from the book, and I hope we can make those connections as I'm speaking and I'm clear. Because if you have any questions till now, we can have a quick shout out and then we'll go into an activity. Anybody? Okay.
Are we all clear till now? I think
we looked at what are provocations. Yeah, we looked at provocations, and we looked at what is the importance of a provocation. We looked at what could be the questions and what kind of questions the children should be, kind of led to ask, and how those questions are important, and valuing those questions. If a child has asked questions, are we valuing those questions? Is it being, is your inquiry being led by those questions? That is how one of the ways that you can value their questions, the questions that they ask. So sometimes you don't necessarily have to go about answering those questions. Through the process of inquiry, the children can find those inquiry questions that they have through, their own research, by, learning from each other, by, finding out on their own, or doing something which helps them, develop an understanding and ask further questions. Thank you for that. So is it clear? I guess that's what I heard, that it's okay. We could move on. Somebody said that.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Pallavi. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be curious. So you're going to look at pictures that are going to be given out to you in your breakout rooms. And I think Pallavi is going to assign you the breakout rooms naturally. And what you are going to do now is there are 4 groups. We need 4 group breakout rooms essentially, Pallavi. So there are 4 different pictures. I'm going to show you that, and then we'll send you into your breakout rooms. And there are many strategies so listed in the book from pages 59 to 67. And you could pick any one in your group for that picture and use that questioning strategy for that picture provocation. Is the task okay with everybody? Yeah. So from pages 59 to 67, there are many things like, the why questions, or even De Bono's thinking hats. All these are some examples which are listed in the book. So using that picture, you are going to generate questions with your group, and then you'll come back and we'll have a discussion. Be prepared to discuss as to what your learning has been. It was again, go back to the same Padlet thing, that what are you wondering, what did you explore, and what you need to find out more. I think that's what it was. So that's the three same prompts that is there in the Padlet. If you wish, within your group also, while you're working, you could post those understandings in the Padlet as well before we get back together again in the big group. Is that
Chandrei,
okay?
Want me to make you the
Yeah.
host? That
No,
is
no,
good.
no, you do it. No worries. No worries, you do it. Okay. So, so is the task clear? So we just run through the pictures once, so you know the rooms are going to be assigned as numbers. Am I correct to understand that,
Yes.
Pallavi? 1,
Yes.
2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
So this is group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. These are your pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share these pictures in the chat box. So you could download it and you would know which one you're working on, while Pallavi is assigning you the chat box. Can I see the chat box? I can't see the chat box again. Why can I not see the chat box?
It's next to the participants.
Yeah, Miss, when you go up on the shared screen, you just have to scroll your cursor up, and that's where your options.
Okay, now I can see. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for the support.
All right. So
I
first,
can't-
we have 4 breakout rooms. The first is Arshrafi, Babita, Isabella, Poonam, Ruchi, Ruchika. Room number 2 is Amita, Asha, Jeenal, Nisha, Ria, Tasneem. 3, Chandrei, it's put you also in a group.
No. Okay, I can go, no worries, but I don't want to be, let them do the thing. Fine, no, I still haven't been able to see my chat box. Sorry.
So room 3, Chandrei, Fiza, Harsha, Neha, Nivedita, Purti. 4 is Nisha, Nisha, Panna, Rupa, Sheetal. Shall I open the rooms?
Just one sec. Let me just post this so
Sure.
that everybody has access to the photographs. I'm not
Else you can
sure.
post it in the
how it
WhatsApp group
works.
also, if it is comfortable.
Okay,
Whatever you feel.
let me I'll first post it here and I'll picture prompts there. It is. So it's going in. So have you all got it in the chat box?
Yes, we've
Okay,
received.
so, and I'll now post it. So the group I am in, just give me a few minutes. I'll post it in WhatsApp and then, come to that group. And
Miss,
is that
I can't see
okay
the
with?
breakout room.
Yes, I'm opening the rooms now. I would like to be a part of room 4 because there are only
Okay.
5 members.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, Nisha.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, Pallavi. Hello, Nisha.
Hi.
So who's going to add on Padlet?
Misha, can you add it?
You want me to add to the Padlet?
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, just
I believe this is a photo of this one.
can you put on the chat the
This is the picture which we are going to
Right.
focus on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look at the picture and build questions using anyone's strategy listed in the book pages 59 to 67.
can you just share the Padlet link, please?
Okay. On your WhatsApp or here?
Here.
So
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Have you got it? I put it in the chat.
Yes. Yeah, I got it.
Lovely.
I'm putting the title as group 4.
All right.
Okay, so what are we wondering about?
Nisha, can we take the strategy of Debono's hat?
I was thinking.
Page number 60.
Yeah.
Has anybody used the solo taxonomy for questioning? I've used it for assessment. I've used it for provocation, but I've never used it for questioning.
Me too.
Sorry?
I said the same here. I haven't used it ever for questioning. This is it's a new thing for me.
Yeah, even it's something.
It's new for me.
So do we want to explore that?
Why not?
Yeah, no
Why
worries.
not? Let's do that.
Yeah, because it's all new for us. So
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start.
It's page number 56, solo taxonomy.
Yeah. Increasing level of conceptual understanding.
So, what would be our pre-structural questions? Where we just have no idea on it.
What do we call
Yeah.
trees that lose their leaves? The question may have little relevance to the role of trees in a healthy environment. This is an example given.
So in the Padlet, you want me to write down the questions?
What
Or
are
do
you
we
wondering
in the-
about? Yes, I think that can be.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Pre-structural, unistructural, multi-structural, and extended abstract. That's how we need to go.
Panna, Rupa, Sheetal, please put your cameras on. I have to go to other. We can look at coming back at 2:40. Okay.
I'm not getting that. Where you said on page number 56.
66.
No.
66. The
66.
solar taxonomy.
Oh, sorry.
Sheetal, for you as well. I need to click pictures of groups.
Okay, so when we are looking at the pre-structural, where's the picture prompt? It's just the camera, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that. You want me to share the screen once again? Or something?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it.
Okay,
So operating questioning.
Please, we're starting with the.
Security.
I didn't.
Sorry.
Why is it here, or maybe what is the purpose?
What is the purpose of this camera? It would be a pre-structural question.
So for security, keeping an eye.
But is it a really camera for keeping an eye, or is it just a? Is that
spy
the purpose?
camera.
Or is it a spy camera, or is it just for the? Is it a binocular or something else? For me, it looks more than a camera. No, I don't think so. It's camera.
What I feel, it's more about looking at a far away thing through with the help of that. It's more about a binocular thing where if we go to
cameras on, everybody. Hi.
Yeah. We are wondering, like, what are the questions we could put under each hat. We're thinking of the 6th thinking
Use
hat.
Padlet, please. Use Padlet. We'll be referring to that. Use Padlet. The link has been shared in your chat box. Meena, Babita, Ruchi, Poonam, please put your cameras on.
Sorry, I can't see. Please, can you share the Padlet? I can't see you. Can you copy paste, please?
It's there in the chat box. I've shared the link.
Can't see. That's easy. Anybody has the chat, this Padlet? I can't see. Otherwise, I would have typed.
I can't see on the chat box.
Not me. So green hat, we have to be with the creative solutions or problem solving. Either this. We have to prepare the question, right? Either to be creative or to problem solve. So how do you think?
Okay, there we have the black hat. The black hat is position, difficulties, risks, and weaknesses. So that is for the black hat. So we'll need to come up with one for the black hat. Caution, difficulties, risks.
What's wrong that she is looking into the mirror? There can be something wrong. That's why she's looking.
Yeah, why do you think she's looking into the mirror? Is it because there's something wrong? Right?
Wait, 1 minute.
why is there a color picture at the background and the same picture without the color in the front?
Okay.
Is that a question?
So this is the first question or the second question? Do you want me to
Second.
remove the infrastructure one or it stays?
It stays. Let's put it all together, then we will shuffle it.
Just brainstorm and then you can pick
Yeah.
up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why does the infrastructure look different? And the second question, what about
Wonder
colors,
why the
right?
color, why there's a difference in the picture, in the color in the picture?
There is a difference.
In the color.
Why did she decide
in the color
to
of the
visit
same
the same
background?
place again?
Okay, why did she decide to visit the same place again?
Place. That's a nice question.
Okay,
That's
okay. Okay, that's 3.
Wonder routine, and if you use this picture and if you use the routine of seeking wonder, first you write what do you see, and then what are your thoughts connected to it, then what are your wonderings about, and that's where some of the wonderings are. Like you said, it could be a futuristic object. Your wonderings could be, is it a spy camera to keep a watch on the house for security? That's how you're wondering. So, and that's what today's session was all about. If you heard about Kath, Ron Richard, I mean, they spoke about what is the purpose of using the thinking routine needs to be very clear with the teachers, and then you use it with the children. So once the purpose is clear, then it becomes on one idea. So suppose if we think that let's build on the idea that it's the children have amongst themselves. So that's when you come up with a question and then you start sharing. So what do you think it is? So probably they build on the idea that it is to look at far objects. So if you want to build on that, so let's build on that. Then it becomes a unique.
We have 7 minutes.
So,
okay, let's move on to the.
So if we move, if we look at carefully at the question prompt,
Tanisha, you want to
unistructure is about defining, identify, and do simple procedures. So if we are looking at questioning in unistructure, so we will have to probably define what that thing is. Maybe if we are looking at an ET or maybe a binocular or a camera. So let's stick to one and then define what we are
Yes,
thinking.
exactly. We can pick one idea out of it. What do we think it might be? Then we take it further.
So then what do we all agree to? Do we define it as looking at objects, spy camera? I mean, what is it that we want to define?
Maybe spy camera.
Yeah. Maybe what is it? Simple.
Just assuming. Maybe
Just a simple. What
Even
is it?
I
Have
feel
you
it's a
seen
spy
something?
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
same
because
here.
we all had different thinking earlier to previous to that. You were not there, Miss Pallavi. So everyone had their own, but we are coming to consensus that we want to keep it a spy camera now.
Okay.
So if we say it's a spy camera, for me again the question comes, why is it placed there? What is so special right in front of that or around that camera that it needs to be there? It must be there. That's my question. Like, is there someone special living there, or is something important building is around that camera, or is it a very important place of a city?
For me,
yes, VIP areas where we can see.
For me, the question is for me, the question is like it is linking to me that if it is a spy camera, then why it is kept in open space like this?
Exactly.
Like, why everyone can see it?
Exactly. But see, there is another thing. It doesn't look like a spy camera, but it is a spy camera. That's the thing.
Because we are smart enough to get. So it's a spy camera.
For me and Miss Rupa, it didn't seem a spy camera. It looked more like a binocular. So, but Miss Pallavi says it's a spy camera. So believe, so there it is a hidden thing. People might think it's something else, its appearance is deceiving.
Yes.
Can I just come in? I'm so sorry. I just joined in. I need a bit of clarity. Were we showing, are we doing VTC, visual thinking routine, VTR?
We're building on questions on the Padlet, looking at the provocative picture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Now,
So we're using solo
And the
taxonomy
strategy-
from page
yeah.
66. And that's why we all are, and we have precisely 1 more minute. No,
Okay.
2:46.
So
Right?
we
4
are
minutes.
multi-structural. Can we now build on multi-structural, please?
Yeah, we can.
So what would you say for multi-structural?
Maybe list out the uses of these spy camera, or how does it work?
Yeah.
For police or detectives.
Yeah.
Maintain the law and order.
Features, the features and characteristics of this camera, maybe.
Maybe.
Where else do you see this
wait.
camera? Where else do you see this kind of camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Can
Or
we
why
now
do you
quickly
think
go
it
on
is
the last
placed
one?
here?
Yes, the last stage is the extended and abstract
response. How do so the elements?
So what are something special about this camera that it is placed here, or why it is placed here? Maybe.
So
Or why is
maybe
it better than
it can raise an
others
alarm
which
when
is available in the market? Why it is better than others that is available in the market?
Yes.
Or why did
Why
you choose?
audio will
is this
and it can raise an alarm.
better?
Can I just get some clarity? The last one, Nisha, why did you say that was the best one to choose? Because what was the last thing we had to, you're saying extended. See, I'm still understanding this. So Nisha, when we came to the last part, can you just clarify that for me?
So your extended abstract response is that you're moving away from what you can see more conceptually and trying to make connection with that. So so whatever is your understanding, you're trying to use it in another situation. So that becomes abstract.
Beyond thinking? Beyond thinking,
Yes.
can we say that?
Beyond, yeah, what you see
Yeah.
and what you, beyond that. And generalizing is basically, you're not trying to reflect on it.
Okay, or connect. Is it like real life connection?
Maybe taking it further and connecting it with other concepts. Conceptual connection.
That is what thinking beyond. So thinking beyond that.
Yeah.
What it could be more. Like,
yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
We're done, Miss Pallavi.
Yeah, last one.
Please no miss essential agreements. Only Pallavi.
Oh, Pallavi, yeah.
Why am I not?
How are you, Pallavi? I just
State,
asked, but then I
what do
think.
have to do?
Sorry.
Are you able? Why am I not able to post it? Are you,
You
all
are.
able to see
I
it?
checked. Yes, I can see your posts.
It's there,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah,
It's
it is
there.
there. It is there, ma'am. It's there.
It's there.
Okay.
Refresh it, then it would be seen.
We can see it very well.
Yeah, we can see.
It's there.
Okay, then it's okay. Interesting how, I mean, we've just used solo taxonomy for assessment, and this was something interesting to use it for questioning.
Okay, I'm closing the rooms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Has this chat.
I think who is going to share from our group? So we don't have to share on the Padlet. Padlet I couldn't find yet. Where's the Padlet link?
The Padlet was shared on the WhatsApp group and in the chat.
But in the WhatsApp group chat, I cannot find the Padlet.
Even in the Zoom chat.
Okay, in the chat.
Can you copy paste whoever is having, because I can't see from my end. I don't have that. Please.
So this is the one we are looking at, the chapter 4 Padlet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the one.
The link is
Okay,
again
fine.
shared in the chat box.
Yes, by Pallavi. Use the link shared by Pallavi.
Thank you.
So you could share there and have a quick roundup of what happened in the, what was your discussion like and what strategy you used and how did you feel? So it's the same thing that what you wonder, I discovered and I'm still wondering. So what did you all wonder? What did you discover through this activity? And I am still wondering.
So I'm going to share.
Group one wants to share, whichever group. Just share your photograph so that we could also, so there we've got, yeah.
So first we have is group 4, I wonder.
Okay. Okay, so group 4, should we share the photograph? So that we can.
I need to stop sharing then, right?
No, hold on. Okay, right. Yeah, they could, if they have access to your group 4, right, Pallavi?
Yes.
So if
yes.
you all are in group 4, you all could access the Padlet and explain what you all have done, and we'll look at the photographs so we make those connections. What do you think?
All right, all right.
So I'll share my PowerPoint so we could all see it. So are you going to be?
I'll stop sharing.
And I'll share the PowerPoint back. So we are looking at group 4.
Yes.
Yeah, this was the picture. Okay, great. So group 4, you could share what was your experience. What did you wonder? What did you discover? And I'm still wondering.
Nisha, would you like to lead?
So yes, I would. So we use the solo taxonomy because we've all of us within our group felt that we've used it for assessment and investigation, but we've never used it for questioning. So we used it to pose questions around this object, this provocation, and we have posted the questions on the Padlet. So our first question, what is this? What is the purpose of this? And then later we came to a consensus for the structural that let's identify it as something. So we all, because the things that were happening, some said it was a binocular, some said it was a spy camera, and one felt it was a futuristic object to use. So there were various answers, and then we all took a consensus and we said, okay, let's decide that it is a spy camera. And then we built around that. If this is a spy camera, then are there any important people staying in this area that it is being used? And by the time we reached the abstract stage, we wanted to know, is this better compared to the other devices? Why was this particular one used? So those were the questions that we did around solo taxonomy.
Wonderful. Thanks, Nisha. Looks so meaningful, and I'm sure you've tried to see how a solo taxonomy can be used for questioning as well. So
Yes.
bring in complexity and abstract elements, and therefore higher order thinking. Great, thank you.
Panna
for
has raised
sharing
her
that.
hand.
Yes, Panna.
I have a question, just maybe at present, it may be not leading to this point at this certain point. But like if we are showing certain pictures as you have shown, like how can we connect this to a bigger idea, the main idea, like, or we have to like go ahead and show few more pictures related to this, or I'm wondering about that, like how can we connect it with the bigger idea? The main
See, it's
what we
not
want to
always,
teach.
we are at the moment, we through this chapter, we are trying to understand the importance of provocations and questioning. You have to see what works best in your environment, right? Even the children bring different things. Let them bring the artifacts, let them generate the curiosity themselves, right? So it could be, somewhere, if, it is going to be teacher guided at times. It will be with teacher and student working together. When do you let go and when are they independent? Depends on where you are in the inquiry process. If it's a unit of inquiry in the beginning, it may be teacher led, but as you move forward, maybe the solo taxonomy questioning could be something they're doing for assessment of learning. You see? So how complex and what the purpose is what you need to look at. So we are just trying to read the chapter and try to use these strategies to understand what the content of the chapter is.
Thank you.
And yeah, and we are going at the end, we are going to make those connections with your unit of inquiry. I think Pallavi had asked all of you to bring your unit of inquiry is ongoing or, in the future. So Panna, we make those connections also at the end. Is that okay with you? Thank you.
Yeah, yes,
so
yes,
which,
yes.
yeah. Which group will want to do next? We'll have
Let's
to
go to
quickly.
group number 3.
Group number
3.
Okay. Fiza, you want to share?
Yeah, I will share
Yeah.
definitely. So we had really some good questions. We used the strategy, the 5 whys. The 5 whys entails asking a series of questions, each one beginning with a why and linking to the previous answers. So our group had really wonderful questions and we've written down around 11 questions, out of which it was really difficult to pick the best 5. So we decided on choosing the open-ended questions, which are really higher order thinking. So I'll just read the first 5 questions first, and then maybe I will come to the next remaining questions. So the first question was, why is she here? The second question is, why is the place secluded? The third question is, why do people restore old sites? The fourth question is, why is the person documenting this place? Fifth question is, why does she decide to visit the place again? So these were the 5 most open-ended questions which we thought wherein our students or we would be inquiring more around, and our curiosity would be more around these questions. And the remaining questions which my group came up with were, why does the infrastructure look different? Why there is a difference in the color in the picture? Why do we capture pictures as memories? Why was she so happy in the picture? Why is the place secluded? So these were the 11 questions which we came up, and it was a very interesting conversation around this picture because we couldn't stop talking, and finally the time was up and we were really short of time. Otherwise we could have discussed so much around this one picture, which was used as a provocation for whatever unit of inquiry we would be into. So thank you very much. This was a great provocation picture used by our group.
Thank you, Fiza, for sharing. Yeah. Which would be the next group?
Group 1.
Okay.
Group 2 and then group 1.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay. Group 2.
Okay, so we went with the bonus 6 thinking hats, and we looked at this picture and we started, visualizing as each of the color hats and how we could place our questions around it. So under the red hat, expression of emotional views, how is the child feeling? Under the white hat, information, why is she standing in front of the mirror? Under the yellow hat, what is she looking forward to? Under the black hat, what is she looking for in her reflection? Under the green hat, the alternatives of the perspectives, the reflection in the mirror. We got several questions here, but then we came up with that if you were to put yourself in her place, what do you think she would be reflecting upon? And then in the blue hat, it was the summary. So we were here again, we thought of several things. So what was it that she was thinking before? The child takes one step ahead. If your thinking has changed, how were you thinking during the whole process? So these were some questions that we came up with. Thank you.
Okay, great.
I just want to share something. The de Bono's hat works very well for young children when they start thinking, and it is an effective process as a provocation in the class. And when you show them different colors, they are attracted and they participate even more. Thank you.
And it can be taken to complex situations as well, you know, because De Bono's comes from is a management, you know, it was introduced there. De Bono's books were used in management, and it's so the wonder of the PYP is such that, you know, so many things are transferable, and as you said in early years, it will attract them, you know, what does blue color do, what does green color do, very well put.
Absolutely, and lateral thinking is the most vital thing in the Bono's hat.
Right.
So that is very effective.
Thank you for sharing that. So I hope you're all filling in your Padlet, because then the Padlet becomes our resource, you know. So it's there for you at the end of the book study, and use it as a resource as you move ahead with inquiry in your classrooms. So Pallavi, should we move to group 1's picture?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah.
Hi. As teachers, we say that what seems simple is not very simple implemented in the class. Same happened with us. We thought, oh, we have got a simplest fix, you know, the simplest fix, crane and crocodile, and we put a story and then that's it. So we went for the strategy of 6 thinking hats initially. But when we scratched our brains, we couldn't think of many questions in that strategy. 6 thinking hats. You know, it's about the facts, it's about the benefit, it's about the critic challenge and everything. Then we switched over to I see, I think, and I wonder strategy. Okay. So while thinking, I see a crane sitting on a crocodile. He might be or might not be aware where is he sitting. Few of them also said, yeah, he's a risk taker. He's a risk taker that he's sitting on a dangerous animal, you know, that's so I think he's that was I see. I think he's sitting unaware that he's a crocodile, or they can be either friends, you know, and some of them related to them ecosystem. And one of them said they might be friends and they might be out for the trip. And third was like ecosystem, connecting to the ecosystem. I wonder if they're aware of each other. And one of them said he's sitting on the crane is sitting at the end of the crocodile's tail, near the ending part. So I don't think so the crocodile can eat him. So these were the questions which cropped up during our interaction. Yeah. So we also had this learner profile and ATL skills like risk taker, caring, and all this. Yeah. Anybody from group 1 wants to add more?
No, I think you have said it all, Ruchika.
I think so, yeah.
But it was interesting, you know, because we set for the 6 hat and then we switched on. So that was interesting part.
Yes, and we realize that framing questions is not that very easy as it seems. You know, actually, when you start framing, you realize that, you know, you run out of ideas sometimes.
So thank you for sharing, and the objective was that, you know, you run through the chapter by seeing the different strategies, and clearly with group 1 they explored 2 different strategies and then honed onto the one they thought which suited best. So the idea for this whole provocation and how it works was for you all to explore the different strategies, and also very well said in group 1 that, you know, like we did in the beginning, we saw that big image, and if you know what big idea you're looking for, your image could contribute to that, right? In this case, the provocation being images. So you're talking about ecosystems. You could use this picture to provoke questions related to ecosystem. It could be in the tuning in stage. It could even be in a going further stage of Kath Murdoch's inquiry cycle. It could be anywhere, how you want to use it. So Panna, I hope you can make those connections with the question you asked. Same way, the second group, what do you think is the concept here? It could even be just, you know, virtual education and physical education, just education, or what about equality of education? I don't know what the big idea is. It could be so many things. So what is the big idea, and what how the questions come out with this provocation, photo provocation actually depends on the ideas you're, trying to get the children to think about. We have left it very open-ended. Yeah.
I do understand the big idea,
Yeah,
but like as I said, sometimes we feel that what can be the big idea? Like for us, group 4, the picture was a very specific and I would say limited thing. So that's why I asked that what
I
could,
just I want to speak on. I want to speak on behalf of grade 4, group 4, when we had that hidden camera.
Can we just come back to the Seema, just a minute. We'll come to group 4 and we'll have the discussion. Is that okay? Just hold on to your thoughts.
Sure.
We'll just go sequentially.
Yes.
Yeah. So group 2, what do you think could be the big idea?
I think gender inequality.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. We are connecting to the big ideas.
Education. Yes.
Education.
Under the big umbrella.
Yeah, under the big umbrella, global goals.
It can be provocation to reflect.
Development goals.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Pallavi.
Sorry. I was saying this can be a good provocation to reflect.
Yeah.
Yes, that was one of the questions.
What if you use this to, assess some learning by using this picture prompt where they use a writing structure to explain something?
And how they integrate the SDGs with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you give that to them through provocation, and that's how they start researching, their ETL skills come in action.
Right.
Thank you.
So big ideas are all getting connected now, right? Let's look at this one. What do you think this is about? What could be the big idea? The whole group can answer after group 3. If you can tell us, what is it?
It's about past and present time, basically.
Okay.
It could be about exploration or maybe before and after pictures, as Pallavi just said. Maybe something that
about
could be the big idea, heritage, history we are talking about.
Or even a simple concept of continuity. What about continuity?
Personal histories.
Yeah, history, personal history. Yeah.
And continuation also, as you said.
Yeah. Continuity.
If I can add a timeline.
Yes, Pallavi. Yeah, a timeline. Why not? Just a math concept of timeline. Why not a math concept, that can be, of course, wonderful. You can see the different subjects.
A biography.
Maybe a biography, absolutely. Interesting. So
you're
looking at expression.
This also can be used to unpack the TD theme, where we are in time.
Yeah,
that's
what thought which came to my mind, actually.
So many ideas. Can you see the one photograph and there's so many ideas. Great. So let's move to grade 4. Yes. What could this be? What big idea could this be?
I just wanted to bring, we are doing communication.
Right.
So I thought maybe this could be, and we did communication in the past, present, and future. Maybe this could be our future way of communicating.
It could be media.
A silent camera could be, the children also came up with amazing ideas.
Yeah. Media.
Seema,
I put it there.
That's what came to my mind.
Seema, why future? Why not present? We all are using cameras.
Why I put it there, big idea that came to my mind when I put it there was about privacy laws.
Exactly. Even I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Safety and security.
Yeah, safety and security. And anything, we are all digital. There are privacy issues everywhere. Do you agree to share this? Do you agree not to share this? Those kind of things. So there's so much more. What you said, communication, media. What about, transportation systems also? Nowadays, where I stay in Gurgaon, there are cameras at every traffic light, and you're going to get challan. So it is a way of, capturing.
I think law and order, I would say.
Law and order,
safety rules.
And I think somewhere about even related to governance or something.
Of course, governance as well. Because I don't know, there are countries where everything is being photographed. Absolutely. Very interesting.
If you go to China, you are not safe.
Absolutely.
Everything is
Ruchika? Yes, Ruchika?
Yeah, I was saying this is the new what Indian government has come with toll. Now they're going to give up the toll nakas, and on every road there is going to be where the ticket is going to be issued.
Yeah.
So it's going to be implemented with next 6 months.
So it could be governance, absolutely. So very interesting. So I think, we've made some very good connections, and of course, for everything there has to be a purpose. So if you are using an art, sometimes it could lead to so many different inquiries. So the same provocation can be used in so many different ways, don't you think? And today we've just used photographs as provocations. There's so many other things that you can use. Just a bottle of paint can have so many, a glass of water can lead to so many different questions. So there are so many interesting things that you can think about. And nothing, at the moment you're all working online, look around you where you're sitting. How can anything that you look around contribute to be an artifact? Get the children, to create, something that they want to share and why they think that's important. Ask them to, generate questions with respect to that artifact. So these kind of things that I do is that you all also must have done, have a carousel kind of a thing in the physical space, put one object or something in every table and have everybody to think differently. And it also promotes differentiation. When you have provocation, what kind of questions, how will it lead to inquiry, what kind of inquiry, who will break over and do a self-initiated independent inquiry, where will group work happen, what strategies do you use. And what is at the core in this chapter is basically that teaching children to ask good questions. So going forward, you should have a list of strategies as a toolbox for questioning strategies, and explore each one in different situations, and you'll see the children have so many different ways of asking questions, and they learn how to ask, right? So we've done this already, questions, and we move on. I think this is the end. Just reflect as a personal reflection also. I wonder, I discovered, and I'm still wondering. But what you can do is look at your unit of inquiry. I mean, I don't know if you're running out of time.
It's
We
already
almost
3.
are. Yeah. So what you can do is look at your unit of inquiry and see what provocations you would like to use so that your children ask good questions, and what questions will you ask, and which strategy will you use. So the idea is at the end of the session that what you do with your unit of inquiry is something is your takeaway and implement in your classroom. So what provocations, you could have provocations beginning of the unit, you could have provocations during the unit, any idea that you think the children need to, delve into, get them to explore. So those could be your provocations. And in this chapter, if you're using the Kath Murdoch inquiry cycle, meaningful questions are already there for every phase of the inquiry process. So what questions Kath Murdoch says for tuning in, finding out, sorting out, going further, and this question prompts. And what she talks about is the wonder journal, which is very interesting. You could have the children have a wonder journal. We used to call it, I mean, when I was, I've used it before, where we call it the inquiry journal. The children just record the kind of questions they do. Yeah.
We put anecdotes also in the wonder journal.
Right, nice.
Just one last question which I wanted to ask you is, I came across this word Socratic.
Socratic,
yeah. Yeah, question. What is
questioning.
That? What's that?
Yeah, so it is a protocol of how there is a Socrative questioning. There's a strategy, clarifying questions, probing questions, justify and seek evidence, perspectives and viewpoints, explore, reveal, implications. So this is a strategy again. So it's again, if you see from to clarify, to think about the question itself, these are all basically, moving from a lower end of questioning to a higher order thinking set of questions. So how you adopt and what you want, how you want the children to use it is up to you. This is a strategy again, just like you have solo and you have De Bono's thinking hacks, any one of them.
Oh, may I say something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so Socratic can be used in your classrooms to engage, okay, and it's a beautiful thing where you can assess the children in the class engaging them. So how we use different types of apps and all. When you're doing Google Classroom, same thing, Socrative helps you to engage and more impactful for assessing. So
Yes, more so for
research
assessing.
on
Absolutely.
it. Yes, you could research on it. You could even do it's a free thing to learn, and you could invest your 1-2 hours in learning Socratives and make use of it, of course. Thank you.
Just like Solo, like somebody said, Solo is used for assessment. It's basically Solo is also an inquiry process, right? And that's what you're using for assessment. From when are they moving to how are they moving in the learning from pre-structural to abstract thinking process, and how are they showcasing that thinking, right? So that is the taxonomy. Okay. So I hope you can, look deeper. There are lots of interesting things in this chapter. So thank you, everyone, and wonderful interacting with them.
Thank you so much, Chandrei. This was very, very informative.
Today's session was very interactive.
Yes, very, very informative, very
Yeah.
And thank you for taking so much of time. Thank you for making us learn. And this
Those
was
pictures
very, very
were lovely. Those
So the
pictures
next,
were lovely.
the next
The lead that ma'am had taken was really great.
Someone needs to
Next
mute.
Please mute.
Someone needs to mute.
Yes. Next week, Purti Singh is going to be taking our session, chapter 5. She's a PYPC of Jamnabai Narsi International School, Mumbai. And I would like you to volunteer if you also would like to take a session on one of the chapters. And we are hoping to meet Miss Kath on the 8th. Till now, this is what the communication is. In case there is a change, I hope not. Then we are going to, I will be updating you on that. So anybody who is interested in taking other chapters, please let me know. Nisha, would you be happy to take chapter 7? Done. See, we have.
Yes.
This is a wonder of this platform, and you all are so open-minded, and so nobody said no. When I read Chandrei, Purti, Nisha, exactly, they've come, yes, we'll do it. So thank you for being so open-minded. Thank you for coming forward and gracing us, gracing everybody. So thank you, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take care of yourself.
everyone.
Take care of your
Thank
family.
Take care, Pallavi.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye. Bye. Thanks a lot.
See you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.